is chicken turnovers, or Guam's classic empanada. These empanadas came out perfect. They're crispy, fried with a savory filling. Watch until the end to see how it gets its beautiful color. I'm using 1 cup of boneless, skinless chicken thighs on medium-high heat. I'm going to brown the chicken. I'm adding 2 cloves garlic, a half of white onion, a teaspoon of black pepper and seasoned salt to taste. And I want to do this and I want to make sure that my meat is flavored and brown before I add in the rest of the ingredients. I'm adding 1 cup of chicken broth for flavor. For the filling, I'm using Mamacita's achote powder. I'm using one of these packages plus 1 cup of water, and I'm going to stir and add it to the pot. These chicken turnovers get their beautiful and deep orange-red hue from achote, which are derived from annatto seeds. Totally optional, but for more heat and flavor, I diced up 3 chili peppers. I'm adding half a cup of cream of rice. When adding cream of rice over low heat, I'm stirring constantly but somewhat slowly, and I want to let it simmer for about 30 seconds while still slowly stirring. Look how beautiful this looks. Here, I'm tasting the filling to ensure the flavor is perfect and the salt ratio is just right. If not, you can add a little bit more salt to taste. For the crust, I'm adding 2 1/4 cup of corn masa flour and a half a cup of cornstarch. I'm adding 3 sazon goya packets. Sazon goya con culantro y achote, other powder packets that I'm using for the crust. So this not only adds this beautiful orange-red hue of color, it also enhances the flavor, so there's no need to add any extra salt because it already has the perfect ratio. So unlike the filling where we had Mamacita's achote, this is a different type of brand and both balance each other out. Now I'm adding 3 teaspoons oil to the crust, and I'm adding 1 3/4 cup chicken broth, and you can really use any type of oil. I did use vegetable oil. After I combined all the ingredients together and stirred as much as I could, I'm going to go ahead and knead a little bit. And if you feel the dough is a little sticky, feel free to add a little bit more masa or corn flour to even the batter out. So now I'm using a 1/4 measuring cup scooper, and I'm going to spoon 2 little dough balls in between my hands. And I'm just going to roll and continue to form a little ball that looks something like this. Here I'm using a tortilla press. You can also use a rolling pin. If you don't have a tortilla press, that's totally fine. I actually found this online and it was so affordable, and it really does make a difference when you're frying empanadas. It's just easier and more clean. So now I'm taking my balls, which are about 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter, and I'm going to make them into thin tortillas by placing them in the tortilla press in between 2 parchment papers. This looks perfect. This is how it should look. This is how the crust should look. So now I went ahead and used that same scooper, that 1/4 measuring cup scooper, and I added only 1/4 of the filling, and I placed it right in the center. I want to make sure that I don't put too much because then it'll overfill and it won't fry right and it'll just be a mess. So you just want to use about 1/4 of the filling and gently seal still between the parchment papers, just like this. There you go. Look how beautiful this looks. Perfectly put together. All right, friends, so one more time, let's recap. I'm using 1/4 of a measuring cup scooper. I'm scooping 2 little balls. Now I'm going to roll them in between my hands until I get, I don't know, like about 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. And this again is the crust. This is the crispy masa harina crust. So now I'm going to place it on a piece of parchment paper or wax paper. I'm going to place another one right over it. And I'm going to press down, all the way down with a tortilla press to ensure I get a flat tortilla. Ta-da! This is how it should look. Now with that same measuring cup scooper, rinsed and clean, I went ahead and scooped out 1/4 of filling, and I placed it right in the center, and I kind of tapped it with a knife just to kind of spread it out evenly. But again, I want to make sure that I don't overfill it. And I'm sealing the empanada still in between the parchment papers very gently. And I'm going to Just press down at the edges, just like this. And there you go, another perfect one. Alright friends, so here you have the uncooked empanadas. They are ready to be cooked. But wait, if you made a whole batch or if you just want to fry them later, I recommend folding them in between parchment papers or on a flat baking sheet and sealing them in a freezer bag for later. And then when you're ready, you can immediately take them out and place them in oil, hot oil, ready to be fried. Here, I actually fried them immediately on high heat. Some say low heat works for them, but I happen to think that high heat works best. So this is medium to high heat, and I fried them for about 3 minutes or so, a little bit more. And you just want to make sure that they look similar to this, very crispy to the touch, and just be careful, let them cool on a cooling rack before you eat them. Friends, I hope you enjoyed this classic Guam snack recipe. Chicken turnovers or Guam empanadas. These are so simple, easy, and delicious to make. They are crispy on the outside, this orange, reddish, beautiful hue of color from the achote. Inside is savory, a little pica or spicy with the little chili peppers, and the chicken is just so flavorful. Alright, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Reese's Recipes for more easy, simple, and delicious recipes. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Many blessings.